Okay, let's continue with total U.S. financing. This particular illustration here is doing with bonds, corporate bonds and foreign bonds, quarter 3, 2015. And you can see all the different intermediaries here. Uh, Mutual funds, 24.8, pensions, 10.7. Insurance companies are big purchasers of bonds. Rest of the world, probably the surprising thing is households. Households tend to not purchase bonds, 4.3. When we move to the next slide, you'll see that will be a reverse when we talk about stocks. Now turning to total U.S. financing, and here we turn to stocks. Notice here households is one of the largest. It is the largest, 37.2%. So households love stocks. Then there's mutual funds, which doesn't surprise me, pension funds. Insurance companies, which doesn't surprise me. They tend to be more conservative, so they would rather purchase a bond than a security. Rest of the world. Consider with the function of financial markets here. We've covered a lot of this, transporting cash across time. Okay, this is really what they're talking about is the time value of money, which we'll talk about. We have a full chapter on the time value of money, but anyway, lenders transport money forward in time, borrowers transport it back. So let's say I am a person and I have money here that I do not need right now. So I put it into the bank to earn interest. There's the time value of money. If I put it in there for 5 years, I can earn, I'll have more money in 5 years than I will currently. So I'm willing to part with that money. Then there's the borrowers here. And here, borrowers transport it back. I'm going to purchase, or I'm going to take out a loan right now and use that to purchase a car or a house. Okay, then there's risk transfer and diversification. I've talked about a little about the diversification side of mutual funds. But you also have risk transfer in the sense that with insurance companies here, you have homeowners auto. You transfer the risk to a pool there. With the insurance company, they take your premiums, they pay out claims, they invest the difference there, but you have a pool of risk that's being transferred. You can even go with commodities there in the sense, let's say I'm moving to a futures contract. I'm a corn farmer and I'm worried about the price of corn going down, so I write a futures contract, which means I lock in a price, and then the risk is transferred to there's two sides to a futures contract. There's a person thinking corn's going to go up, and there's a second part on there, an investor that thinks that the corn price is going to go down. Also talk about liquidity here. Liquidity is being able to take your money out. Talked about the secondary market there. If we didn't have the secondary market, people probably would not purchase securities in the sense that if I buy this stock and then I have to find a buyer, that's what the secondary market is all about. Also, you'll see in this course when we talk about liquidity, usually the more liquid it is, for example, money market CD, it's going to pay less interest than an investment that's going to be tied up longer. So you're going to get a higher return. Of course, with payment mechanisms, there's many ways to pay, not just cash. You have check, credit card, electronic fund transfer, even with mutual funds, especially like with their money market accounts. If you have money in a mutual fund, money market mutual fund, and you need that money to pay a bill, a lot of those will provide you with a check to make that payment. And then, of course, most important is provide information. There's all types of information out there, the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, in the markets themselves. Let's say I'm a company and I want to issue some bonds based on, of course, the company's credit rating. I can look and see how much I should pay in interest to be able to attract investors to purchase our bonds. Here's another slide. I already talked, the financial markets and the information provided is going to have an impact on commodity prices, interest rates, and company values. But I also talked about this a little bit about, with credit ratings here for bonds. If you're AAA, that means you're a very secure company. So investors are willing to take a less of interest rate. So if I was a AAA company, I would be paying 2.59% on the bond to attract people to purchase our bond. Whereas if I was a junk bond here, rated B, there's the 8.32%. So there's that penalty or increased costs for financing if your credit rating down. Most likely this B-rated company has a lot of debt already. And we talked about that. The more debt, the riskier the investment, and the higher return an investor is going to look for, and charging a higher interest rate to that company. And that's it for Chapter 2.